Primary key.
Primary key, foreign key. We discussed what is the use of foreign key. It is just a reference to another table, right? We kind of brainstorm the idea, why we are having foreign key, different foreign key, different primary keys. So then we realize, it is very important. In a typical table, we all discuss that there could be multiple foreign keys, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, having said all that, then we saw various databases. Also, we saw Northern database, which is a kind of a sample database, right? Your tables are pretty much like Excel. So instead of creating a new table, I'll just create it here, right? Account name. So let's say this is the product table, and these are the two products in that. Okay, we are creating a sample data just for our purpose. This is the product definition. Row ID is the primary key. This is a product table definition, right? We made a new product table, right? Right. So, okay. Now let's say one of the customers buy the products, of course, right?
Yeah.
Right. So customers buy the product. Let's say the thing is that okay. Okay. Let's say this is a relationship between account and contact. Okay. Okay. So this is one. This is M, right? Can you tell me where will we store the foreign key? Shall it be stored in the account table or in the contact table?
Contact table.
And what is the rule I gave you? Do you remember the rule? You have given a very good answer, Mr. John. Can you please answer the second question now? Which rule did you follow to say that? I will give you a rule, right? At the M side, on the M side, you will store the foreign key, right? So for every contact, you will mention which account it is. So let's consider that scenario and start our discussion of the option. Okay, you don't have an account foreign key. Her name is Springfield Barbara. By the way, I'll be obviously entering it in the GUI usually. Here, just for the exercise purpose, I'm entering in the database directly. But in general, in SQL, we'll not be doing that. Just to create sample data to make the points clear, I'm doing that. Okay, right? Right. This person is not affiliated to any account. Is not associated with any account. This can exist. Let's see and in general, in the regular world, it will be happening. There will be some people who are not related to any account. For example, when you go to buy something from Walmart.com, are you related to some account at that point for Walmart? Do they gather your account information? Right? When you go to buy something at BestBuy.com, they don't really take your account information. They don't know which company you are working for or whether you are working. They don't care, right? When you are going to buy, like many things, many businesses don't have like this thing. So having a contact with no account information is very usual in the world. Okay. Having an opportunity with no account and contact is also usual, but not that usual. But having a contact with no account information is very usual. Okay. Making sense to you?
No.
You're right. At Walmart, they don't have even contact information. So why are we talking? But at Kroger, when you go to Kroger, they give you an ID, little ID,
yeah.
Right? And there your last name, first name is given, but not your company information. So they do have your contact information at hand, and they keep relating it to this person came again and again and bought this, bought that, right? So they are associating with contact, but they don't have any account information. And Kroger might be supplying to some companies like some big company, and so they need to maintain account information, and those contacts from those accounts. So they will be having two types of contacts: one who are not related to any account, one who are related, right? So Kroger will be having that kind of accounts, right? That kind of contacts, right? Okay. So let's say this is one such guy. He's not related to any corporate. He's just an individual, right? This can happen. Let's see, there is one person at least who does not have an account information. Can there be more? Yes, we can create more, right? Like the one that we made. There's no account information, right? We can make many more, right? So in general, this thing is supported. But what my point is really not whether an account can have contact, because we are not discussing business here, right? Business is important. That's what we will be automating. But for the purpose of our discussion, as far as database is concerned, I'm just talking about there are two entities, and the relationship between them is such that sometimes there is no relationship between the entity, between the data record, and sometimes the relationship is maintained. For example, in case of contact, for all these people, you know, out of all these people, for these Elder, Alan, and everybody, the account information is written. So relationship has been maintained for this data rows, but there are some data rows, as we saw, you know, towards, say, for example, these ones, where there is no account information, like this one and this one, right? Right? And so that is the main point. Can you see any other two entities and give me a similar idea that, okay, in this I can visualize, you know, that sometimes in the business it will make sense that this entity will not have a relationship with the, for certain rows it will have relationship, for certain rows it will not have relationship. In general, by the way, we still depict it the same way. It means 1 to M is a relationship between account and contact, not every account and every contact have that relationship. You see my point? Just to let you know, this 1 to M means between an account and contact there is a 1 to M relationship, but it doesn't mean for every account there are multiple contacts. There could be one contact for one account too, for a particular account. If there is at least one instance where one account has multiple contacts, that means the relationship 1 to M.
No.
See my point? If all the relationship 1 to M, that does not, in the data, if you see all the relationship account to contact are 1 to M, that does not mean there is no relationship like M to M. It is possible nobody created one such account so far. So you have to try to create one to really make sure that there is no M to M relationship. You got my point?
Yeah.
If see, so for every account and contact, it could be having one contact or two contact. The thing is, how many are allowed? Is it one allowed or many allowed? That is the thing. So to see what is allowed, you have to really try to do it and see. You see my point? If there is at least one instance, that means it is allowed, and that's what the relationship between the account and contact in general in that company is. Okay? Okay, in that company, that means the relationship would be account between account. So let's say you go to work at some company, UP or something. There you see there is at least one instance where account can have multiple contacts. That means the relationship between account and contact is
1 to M.
yeah. Does it mean that for all the account there are multiple contacts, John? For all the accounts, do you think there should be multiple contacts?
No.
No. One account could have just one contact too. And one account could have no contact too. Okay. So business wise it makes sense or not, that's a different story, but from database perspective 1 to M means account can have 0 contacts, account can have one contact, account can have multiple, and that's why we say M. Reason being because we have to design the database, and designing the database means 1 to M matters for every account. Then you see my point, because we have to put a foreign key, and that's the only thing which matters. So I should know where should the foreign key go. If there is a 1 to M relationship, I'll make the foreign key here. If there is an M to 1 relationship, I'll make the foreign key in account. Is it right?
Mm.
So that is the reason. We just want to know this thing just because of the this reason. Okay. So this helps. So that is why they have made a big concept: 1 to M, M to M, M to 1, this thing, all this thing. To me, it's like very simple. So wherever we also in the Excel did the same thing, right? You cannot put the things in the Excel also. Right. So that same thing is used in the tables. Once you know this is M, then you have to put the column here. And when you know it's M to M, you know you cannot do it by putting columns on both the sides. You have to put a third table or a third sheet. Is it right?
That hold all the foreign keys, right?
Perfect. Yes. Which will be having all the foreign keys and having its own primary key. Is it right?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, guys, in offices there may not be account foreign key written like this. It will be little different. It will be termed differently. It will be mentioned differently. It will be worded differently. So you'll have to work out to find out what is the foreign key to a particular other account. So you have to work out the relationship between all those things. One of the things is you might ask developer. Second thing is Siebel vanilla schema is same. Siebel gives all this database schema. This is the database schema, by the way, guys. Tables and their structure and their columns. That is this whole thing. This is the way of representing data, that this is account, this is content, this is the relationship between them. That is the schema. If I put all 500 tables like this, that means that's the complete schema. It's just between these two guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we are discussing outer join. All right. So let's execute this query. Right. This should be enough, right? I put this thing join between them, right?
Yeah.
Right. This should be enough. 3 have come. My goal was to find all the 4 contacts and their account name, right? How many came?
3.
Why didn't it come? Why didn't it come? Why do you think it didn't come? Basically, I should simply get this thing. I just copied pasted from here to here. I just went there and I copied pasted from here, Control C. I came here and then I'm pasting it here. Okay. So basically, engine should see is go to 1-APQ, find out the account name, put it here. Is it right?
Right.
Go to 1-APP, find out the account name, put it here. Go to the account 1-APP, find out the account name, put it here. Is it right?
Mm.
For this, what he should do? Simply leave it blank. It is not leaving it blank. Is it right?
You don't have the
Because because what engine is trying to do is, engine is saying this is null. He is trying to compare it to something in account table.
Okay.
There is nothing like null. It comes back. Okay, this is not there, so leave it. It is leaving the whole record. But was that your intention?
No.
You wanted this to appear along with the null here. That's it. You wanted a list like this. I'll make that list. You wanted a list like this. You wanted a list like this. Simple. Why did this database execution engine got confused? Why did this database management system engine got confused? So that is this thing. You know why it is eliminated from this query? From this query, it is simply eliminated it, saying that, okay, I followed your instruction, this instruction. I went there, got all the contacts first. Then I went to account foreign key. Every time account foreign key is equal to row ID, I gave it to you. In this case, account foreign key is not equal to row ID. In this case, account foreign key, that is this null, is not equal to row ID. Is it equal to any row ID?
No.
No. So it didn't. But that was not your intention. So all databases allow you to mention two things. One is, do you want him to make this comparison, null comparison or not? Okay. What is the way to do that? You think in this case you would want to make a null comparison? No, I don't want to make a null comparison in this case. If it is null, just leave it like this. In this case, this is the way I want, right?
Yeah.
If it is null, leave it like this. Leave it alone. If it is null, leave it alone. Don't do anything, please. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right? I double click on this thing. Left double click hota hai hamesha. We all know that. It's always left double click. It says include all records, only include rows where the joint fields are both tables are equal. Row ID and account foreign key are equal. That's the default thing. And you know that is not going to yield you the results because we want to get something else. Let's see the other options. Include all records from a contact table and only those records from a account table where the joint fields are equal. Is this our intention? We want to get all records from a contact table and only those records where a account table where the joint fields are equal. So we want to get all records of contact, but we want to make sure wherever it is null, it should give that record also.
Right.
Is it right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? So it is saying from contact table you get all, from account table you don't get all. Wherever it is null, leave it blank. You just bring all those tables where it is equal. That's what, it's a different way of wording, that's it. Right? So I will say okay to this thing and then I click this thing. That fourth one also okay. This is the list we wanted. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right? Include all records from contact table and from account table only bring those records where this is actually equal. You see my point? Where it is not equal, don't bother about account name.
Leave it blank.
Leave it blank. But in the previous, what he was doing is he was eliminating it completely. He was saying, oh, this is not equal, so I will not bring it back. But here we want it should bring it back. The contact record it should bring. Maybe account record it should not bring because of the fact account record is not there. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right. So this simple statement, this just double clicking, and by the way, just see the symbol has changed from here to here, saying that this is one, this is many. Okay. Right. So it is a visual cue to you that you have put a join here. Okay. So outer join has solved the issues. Okay. Let's discuss this thing a little bit more. Does it make sense to you, Hafiz?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever you want to get an exhaustive list of contacts, exhaustive list of all the contacts, making sure because of nulls, the exhaustive list does not get disrupted or become spoiled, we will have to make this outer join arrangement. Right, Hafiz?
Right.
Right? Just as this thing is done, and if you want the exhaustive list of this thing, then we'll have to put this thing here. Okay. Let's say I want to get an exhaustive list of all the accounts and their corresponding contacts. This thing can come again. In that case, I will say I want to include all these accounts and make sure wherever contact is not present, just leave it blank. Can there be an account who will not be having any contact associated with him? It can be. So we'll have to do the same thing for account at that time. We'll have to say, hello, bring all the accounts, but do not try to bring the contact if it is null. Okay, let's try to see what it means. I have created one more record, 1-APS OV phone, right? Okay. So I go back to my query, and now I want to list. Now my intention is different. Now my intention is to get an exhaustive list of all the accounts, right? So I execute this query. Did I get all the accounts? No. No, I didn't get that one. New phone, OV phone, right? I'm getting an exhaustive list of all the contacts, but not of the accounts, right? Right? So what I do is I change the outer join. First I bring it back to the normal one. It is still not coming because of the fact it is just eliminating the rows wherever that equal thing does not work. Is it right? But now it will work. Include all records from account table and only those records from contact where the joint fields are equal. See, it came. OV phone has come. Right? Because this time we took an exhaustive list of all the accounts. So the business scenario in this case is what we have studied is one account could have multiple contacts, right? But there are some instances of contact who do not have account associated with them. Similarly, there are some accounts who do not have any contacts associated with them. They're just accounts here. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right? So wherever we want, whichever exhaustive list we want, right? Whichever exhaustive list we want, we have to make an outer join on, on the other side. We'll see what is the meaning of outer join. Forget outer join. You understand the concept now, right? We want this exhaustive list, then we need to do something related to this guy. If we want this, then we have to explicitly mention that this is the include all rows from this guy. Making sense? Just to let you know, in this case, when account is 1, when you want the exhaustive list, it doesn't matter whether it's 1 to M or M to M or M to 1. What matters is what exhaustive list you want. Whether you want all the accounts, whether you want all the contacts, right? It is a 1 to M relationship still. We didn't disrupt that relationship, right? What matters is whether you want all the accounts. What really matters is whether there are nulls somewhere in the relationship. Is it right? So if I want the exhaustive list of all the accounts, in that case, I have to put an outer join on contact. That's how we say. You can call it whatever. I have to put Mr. 822 on 825 or Mr. 825 on 822. It's up to you to what you want to call it. You want to call it this phenomena as RKC phenomena, or you want to call it CBZ phenomena. It's up to you. It's just a name. It's just a name, way of saying the things, right? Right? We say that man is the husband of woman. We could also say man, husband, woman in bracket. This is just a way of writing the things. We should not be really concerned about how to write it. The only thing is we should know the way the people are writing, then we can write the same way. Is it right? So don't worry about how it is written. When we want the exhaustive list of all the accounts and the corresponding contacts, wherever account and contact not similar, just eliminate the contact but keep the accounts there, right? Then we say the outer join is on contact. In the relationship between account and contact, please put an outer join on contact. That's how we say it. If we're taking the exhaustive list of all the contacts and the accounts, we will say, all right, I don't mind whether you bring me all the accounts or not, but bring me all the contacts. Wherever account is present, bring it. Wherever it is null, leave it. Then we say, this is an outer join on contact. Account in this case, right? So let me tell you how it will help you visualize this thing. Okay, I'll help you visualize this thing. Just the way the space where we want to include the exhaustive list, on the other side we put outer. The place where we want to put this thing, on the other side, like when we want the exhaustive list of contacts, on the account side it is written outer, and when we want the exhaustive list of accounts, we put it on contact. By the way, Mr. SQL Server, if you come out with there are 500 querying tools in the world. Okay, all those 500 querying tools use different way of writing these things. There is an institute called, I think, SQL Server Institute or something, SQL Institute or something. I don't know what, and I don't care. NC SQL statement or something like that. That institute recommends the way to write, but not everybody follows that. Okay. For example, in Toad, that is what you will be using. the way it will be written is, we have to study Toad actually. That whole Toad we have to study. All these queries will be making in Toad one by one. Okay? Okay? The way we write join is different. The way we select columns is different. The way we select table is different. The way we put conditions is different. Is it right?
No.
So we'll be studying all that.
Toad or total? What?
You know, so we're just trying to discuss, you know, why Toad is called as Toad. In general, like, you know, people give names to their products the way they want. There's a tool called as soft blue martini. I don't even know what it does, but it does not get you tipsy for sure. Okay. Then there is a tool called as goldfish. I don't know what it does, but it doesn't mean that it has anything to do with the fish. So people are giving very interesting names to their products. You know, sometimes, you know, in our everyday life, the products are very simple and their names are, but then Walmart doesn't mean that it is on the wall. You know, that is the brand, and we don't know. Kmart doesn't mean that, you know, everything starts with K or anything like that. It's just the name. People give a name. So people are giving funny names these days. That's it.
Yeah.
Very funny names they're giving to their products. Toad is a very funny name, right? So they're just giving to. But what it does is very important, right? What you get at Walmart, that definitely is one of the things that you like to know. Hey, what all can I get here, right? Similarly, what can you get from Toad is very important. What can it do for you is very important. This is a querying tool, right? We just made a query. We said that I want this last name, first name, account name. I want it from this table, this from this table, this from this table, according to this relationship, right? Right? And give it to me, right? Right? That's what you got, right? So what I'm trying to say is, this is a querying tool. You made a query. It sounded very simple to you. In Excel, you have made queries, right? You just make, right? Do you ever put conditions also for this month, for that month, and all those things? You put conditions also, right? Yeah. So you make very elaborate queries, right? So you can make queries in Toad also. The Toad is more flexible, but it is more difficult. It is more flexible, but it is very difficult. So we'll study a little bit of Toad now. Okay? Goal is you guys don't get confused. Okay, that is the main thing. If you guys get confused at any point of time, I'll bring you back and say this is the only query tool in the world. Okay? Because for you to know MS Access is good enough. Because what you can do is you can connect to the Siebel database using MS Access. Okay? And you can learn how to query very fast. But we'll just study a little bit of RDBMS. Okay? But you know, the table name will not be like the way you find it here. Account, contact. It could be something else. For example, in Siebel, the account table name is s_org_ext. Who will tell you all that? I will tell you. For about 10 tables, I'll tell you everything. For the rest of the tables, you'll have to figure it out. I'll tell you how to figure it out. Okay? These are all the accounts. Okay? Let's compare the method of writing the query. In Access, you're writing the query like this. You come here, you click New, click Design View. Let's say you want all the accounts. You click Add. That's it. Just take this star, put it here, click this, right? And you can see all the accounts. Are these the only 3 accounts in the database? Right, John?
Yeah.
Right? So you can see all the accounts. It is very easy to make a query in Access, right? Let's make a similar query here. It's a very different way of writing. Select star from Siebel. This is the table name. By the way, this is the funky table name. In that case, we would have said just this thing. Account table. Okay. Select star from account table. Select is a keyword reserved for saying select this. From means from which tables you do want to select. So this is the way we write it. Okay. Usually we write these things as, you know, whatever is important as this thing, you know, like in the form of a capital. So I will write the capital. Select star from account table. This is same query as this one. This one. This query is same as this one. Do you see any difference, Hafiz?
No.
Okay. Okay. Let's put then other thing called as condition. Okay. Here you put the condition like this. Criteria, right? You put 3 comma. I want all the accounts which start with 3. This is the way you write it.
3 star.
I'm saying that where the name starts with A. account, right? I'm saying I need all the columns. These are all the columns. This star means all the columns, right? And where the name starts with A. I got that one. Making sense to you, Mr. John? Right? So this is one query. This is called as condition. I put a condition here. You know, if I don't put this condition, how many records will come, Mr. John? 3. Right? All the 3. Or all the records will come. Here in this case, when I say A star.
Only A. Anything starting with A will come.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Perfect. Perfect. Right? If I say anything starting with B.
Anything starts with B will come.
Yeah. 0 records. Because there is nothing, no record set.
No,
one is 3Com, one is AT&T,
yeah.
one is OV phone.
Yeah.
Right? If we put O star, it will come. Is it right?
Yeah.
And it is showing, and why is it showing all the columns? Because I put here star. I can also say, just show me account table. Just show me account name. Do not show me row ID. Then only OV phone will come. Is the account row ID coming? No. Why? Because so you select different columns that you want to put according to certain conditions and from a particular table. So here also you see the same thing. Select star. If I want to get a particular column name, let's say row ID, then I can put like this, row ID. Select row ID. Only the row ID will come this time. Right? We should keep some name which is suggestive, but we can't do anything because the fact that vanilla Siebel has a funky name. I can't do anything about it. We should complain to Mr. Siebel, tell him, can you please make it as underscore account so that it's understandable. But you know, that's fine.
So that's the address for account, right? Stable
Underscore S underscore account. Not the address, the table.
table.
Table, right? Right? The name of the table, you know, that's a good question. It's a very good question. This is the way we write the query. What we are doing is we said select star, select row ID from this table. This is where we were. Then we added, you know, then we are getting data from 2 tables. To get data from 2 tables, we have to put a condition between join, right? To put that join, just to save my typing, I'm giving it them the nicknames. So select row ID from this thing where this. So now I'll just use the nickname. A dot row ID is equal to C dot account foreign key. Same thing we are writing in a different manner. Obviously it will not work in Siebel because of fact Siebel has different column names, but I just want to give you an idea. Is it right, Mr.
I'm lost here.
Okay. सारा कुछ बोल के मैं फिर recording है. Anyway, so we are gonna make a join, right? So you're lost, we don't understand, right? So let's come back and make Siebel join. Our goal was to get all the contact. This is our contact table. This is our organization table. We make a join between account foreign key and this guy, right? And row ID. And then using that join, we selected all the columns. This is just a measure of selection, right? We selected all the columns. We selected all the columns like this, and then we are just executing the query, and we are getting all the accounts and all the contacts appropriately. Is it like this that he's for this account he's showing some other contact? No, right? The relationship he is maintaining. Why is he maintaining the relationship, Mr. John? Can you tell me where in this query I have made the relationship?
Your account foreign key with row ID. Exactly,
and this arrow is that relationship, right? This little line, right?
Yeah.
Right? So how to make this relationship in Toad? Here. This is the way to make a relationship. A dot row ID is equal to C dot account foreign key, right? Whatever is written here, whatever you did in your Excel, this is same as that. The only thing is the way of writing.
Roundabout way.
It's a round manner. You know, khana bana do. You know, it's the same thing he's saying in different matters. You know, different. You're writing it, khana bana do. Give it to the order. You know, you say it in English, you say it in Farsi, you say it in Greek, you say it in Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, Punjabi. Same thing. He's saying the same thing in different languages. Will you understand Greek? No. Right? So our goal is not to understand all the languages in the world. We'll understand only 2 languages, MS Access language and Toad language. Okay? All right, and they're the same way of saying this, the same thing is different. In English, if you say I am going to school, in हिंदी मैं स्कूल जा रहा हूं, मैं पाठशाला जा रहा हूं. पहले तो स्कूल के लिए नाम, फॉर स्कूल द नेम इज डिफरेंट, दैट इज पाठशाला. देन आई एम गोइंग इज ट्रांसलेटेड टू जा रहा हूं, एंड आई इज सेम एज मैं. Person will say, what is this मैं? It should be I school जा रहा हूं. But we know that this is not the way it works.
Yeah.
We have to translate each and everything. So we are translating each. The way you choose the tables is, you saw something like this, then you chose these tables, this and this. Here you choose the tables by putting their name after from. Now these tables have been chosen. Data will be collected from these tables, right? These are the columns which you will get. This is the way to write column. You just drag and drop. Which one is easier? Obviously access is easier.
Yeah.
Is it right? Yeah. But this is not difficult too. It's not very difficult, right? You just drag and drop, right? So select star kar diya main, right? Where this is the relationship. This to this relationship. Is it right? Right? Here this is the way to show the relationship. Here this is the way to show the relationship. Now let's put our condition A star. See, this is the way to write, like A star. If you put A star, it will auto format and put the right thing. This is a problem with Toad. If you don't if you mistype, it will not auto correct you. So we'll have to understand how it does, and we have to do it completely like that. So let's see. Here it says, and another condition, you put it as condition, and A dot name like a percentage. Like a percentage. There we write A star, here we write a percentage. Does it change anything? No. I will memorize it. I will cram it. Right? I will just memorize it and remember that this is the way to say. Why do we call as main Hindi? Why do we call I as main in Hindi? Why?
The different language.
That's it. You just memorize it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
What do you call school in Hindi? Pathshala, right?
Right.
Is there any reason behind it? No. That's the way. Just memorize it. Similarly, we just memorize the ways people speak Toad language and MS Access language, right? And the way to write it is like a percentage.
It's in Toad.
It's in Toad. This is Toad. Yes. Yes. This is the way to write it, right?
So just query 2.
Mm-hmm. It's just a querying tool. Just as the way you were looking at, how do you query in Excel? You just open Excel, you can see the data, right? How do you query in Access? You have to do some work. Query, new, design view, this, right? How do you query in Toad? This is the way to write query in Toad, right? You will learn. You will have to make these queries very soon, okay? You'll have to make these queries very soon. We are recording this lesson. You can see this again and do the same thing again. I'll give you exercises, okay? So, after some time it will be all exercises, many exercises, okay? So now you know. There is one more thing I would like to cover. Remember, we could group the elements. Let's say we want, for all the accounts, how many people are there? Right? Say view totals. What will this give you? Do you remember what was the result? What we were trying to do? Freecom has 80. Freecom 80. By the way, it didn't show OV phone, which has 0 records. Right? You know the reason why it didn't show? John, why did it not show? This is the result we want to get. So we put a join here, and then we put the row ID count of contact. Then we execute the query. It comes out to 0, 1, 2. It is showing exact thing that we wanted, right? But our goal is let's get into this query. How to write this complex query a little bit later. Let's first try to understand how the group by is written. Okay. See, this is we grouped it. We grouped by account name, and we got this kind of a report or aggregate report, right? How to get this in Excel? You remember anybody? What was the name? Pivot table. You remember that? Pivot table. So here we do like this group by. In this thing we say like this. Okay. Making sense? We grouped it by account name, sorry. This is the date, right? So you group by, There's some subtle points to how to write this query, but I want to make sure you know things a little bit. If your work is related to querying, we'll get you here for 8 hours, make you a query pro. You will not do anything but query, and you will become very good in query. But you should understand the three concepts. You see the including all these rows, or you see all these data. You connect it like this, or you connect it like this, right? You can group it also. Excel, it was easy to understand, right? If you are able to understand that funda, then you can understand this thing, how to write it in query. It will be a little bit of practice before you can start writing queries in code. Then you realize it is much more powerful than you ever imagined. This is much more powerful and easy to work with than Access or anything else. Okay, gentlemen, we are looking at all the tables in Siebel now, right? See, these are all the tables, but I'm going to basically bring only a few in my current data. Okay, so I'm just choosing all the fields that I need. So one of the things that you can observe is s_addr_org. This is a table, and this is the extension table for that.
Yeah, because you put X on that side.
Yeah, you put another. You make for every table you have an extension table. If there is some data that you could not keep in the normal table, then you put it in the extension table
because that line is long enough.
Exactly, right? So you put it in the extension table, and in that case, the primary key is same. Okay, right? That was a discussion we had yesterday, right? So name of the table of account is s_org_ext. For contact, it is s_contact. For opportunity, it is s_opty. For order, it is s_order. For offer, it is s_offer. For activities, it is s_evt_act. EVT event, ACT action, s_evt action. Okay. So these names are a little funny. Alright guys, I did just one account here and I can see it in the database now. I'm using the MS Access querying tool. MS Access is to make the whole RDBMS. Okay, the whole database can be made, all the tables could be made, but I'm not making tables in that. Okay, the way I have done this thing is I have linked it to the Siebel database. Okay, I have linked. See, this is a link. The way I created was create a link table. I created a link table, and through an ODBC connection. What is an ODBC connection? Forget that for the time being. Just through this ODBC connection, I linked it to sample 6 is the ODBC connection. I linked it to sample 6, and then I said, okay, I want to link to this table. Is it right? Right. So I tried to link it to s_org_ext also for our account discussion, but I could not do that. So that's because of too many indexes. I tried everything, but it could not work. All right. Anyway, so this is the contact table. This is the opti table. Okay. Let's do a little verification. So how will you verify? Just enter a new record here. Right. Hafiz Sipton. Before saving it, let's check whether it is there or not. Sipton डाल रहे हैं ना, right? See, there is no person in the name of Sipton. Is it right, Hafiz? Right? So I go and I save it. Just as I save it, I go back and query for it, and I see there is a Hafiz Sipton record. And when was it created? John, can you tell me?
Yeah, 12/2/2006.
12/24/2006, yeah. Right? It was created at 3:38 p.m., which is now a few seconds back. Is it right? Yeah. So these are the other so many fields in it. Okay, these are so many fields in it. There are so many fields in it. Okay, you gotta study all this. See, there are so many primary keys in there. Sorry, these are the PR_ this ID. That means it is a foreign key. Anything that ends with an ID, usually it means that it is a foreign key to something else. So let's see how many foreign keys are there. Let's see the design view of this guy. Right? See, these are all ID. You see this ID, this ID, yeah. This ID, 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 this ID. You see, there are so many IDs here. These are all foreign keys to something. Okay, except row ID, conflict ID. These are the two I see right away. These are not foreign keys. These are here. They are actually some ID of this guy. Okay. Okay. So that's the contact table. I cannot tell you anything more than that. That's it. That's the contact table. That was the goal of this exercise, right? I wanted to show you the contact table just to give you various fields in it. Let's see some other fields. Like instead of putting star, what I will do is I'll remove this star and I will get the fields one by one related to half s. Right? Let's get the first name. So I'm querying for Sipton's first name, right? That's half s, right? Whatever I put here, same thing will come here. Let's say I change it to HAFIZ, H capital or all capital, and then I save it. Okay, and then I make the query again. Just change. Making sense, sir? Right? So this is exact same thing. This is the contact table, and you are querying on it. Okay, so you come back here. Let's now work on the opti. What should I do? Can somebody tell me what should I do next in order to make sure this is the opti table?
Double click to left click on that.
Okay, I did. No, I'll do. See, I'll go to opportunity here. Enter a new opportunity. Okay, enter a new opportunity called as test opti. Okay, and I'll write it. What is the date today? 12/25th. 24.
24.
Okay, so then I save it. I go back to my opti table, make a query. And I know this is a name. You wouldn't be knowing this is a name, okay? See, this is there. You want to see all the details? Yes, you can. See, all the details are here. What is an opti table? This is a row ID. This is who created it. This is a created by ID. By the way, this is created by ID should be mine, right? Siebel does not store the sadmin thing here. Siebel stores the row ID of sadmin. This is the row ID. Okay, right? So we'll check out the employee table after this. Actually, there is nothing called as employee table. Let me check. Let me tell you something. Nothing called as employee table. Okay, that's fine. So this is opportunity table. There are so many other tables. You need to get grasp on all those tables, how they work, how they don't work, so on and so forth. Slowly and slowly you will know all that. You know what kind of data is in those, what kind of columns are in those. You know how to join. What are the various foreign keys to each other? Opportunity to contact to opportunity. Is there a foreign key or there is a separate table? Right? There could be separate table also, right? So sooner or later you will learn all these things. That is the goal. So it is a matter of practice now. You enter an opportunity, look behind the scenes whether it is there or not. You enter on a contact, you look behind the scenes whether it is there or not. Very first thing is you have to make this connection. If you want to work in MS Access, you have to make this connection. So that's pretty much Siebel schema. There's really nothing more in Siebel schema. These are 8 or 9 tables that you not need to know more than others.